The containment facility on Kepler 442b hummed with nervous energy as Ambassador Vexhall of the Galactic Council stepped through the reinforced blast doors. The Zephyrian's crystalline exoskeleton clicked against the metal floor, each step echoing through the sterile corridor like a countdown timer. Ambassador, I must stress again, this creature has killed 17 handlers across 4 different species, Director Cothlam warned, his tentacles writhing with anxiety. The Void Stalker is beyond any known method of domestication. Even our most advanced neural suppressors have failed. Vexhall's compound eyes focused on the massive viewport ahead. Behind 6 inches of quantum-reinforced glass, something moved in the shadows of the containment cell. Something that had become the Council's most feared problem in over 3 centuries of galactic exploration. The Void Stalker had been discovered in the ruins of the ancient predecessor civilization, a creature of pure nightmare that seemed to exist partially outside normal space-time. Standing 12 feet tall with obsidian scales that absorbed light. Itself, it possessed claws that could tear through starship hulls and a roar that could drive most sentient beings to madness. Its very presence seemed to bend reality, creating localized gravitational anomalies and temporal distortions. 17. Handlers dead, countless more driven to psychological collapse, Vexhall mused, watching the creature's serpentine form coil in the darkness. And yet you claim this human believes it can be tamed? Not tamed, Ambassador, came a voice from behind them. Befriended. Both aliens turned to see Dr. Sarah Chen approaching, her small frame dwarfed by the towering corridor. She wore simple work clothes and carried what appeared to be an ordinary canvas bag. To Vexhall's enhanced senses, she seemed utterly unremarkable. No significant muscle mass, no natural weapons, no psychic emanations. Just another representative of that peculiar species that had somehow stumbled into galactic civilization barely 50 years ago. Dr. Chen, Director Cothlam's voice carried poorly concealed skepticism. I've reviewed your proposal 17 times. Feeding it snacks? This creature has consumed 3 tons of premium protein daily and still shows constant aggression. Sarah smiled, a uniquely human expression that still puzzled most alien species. Director, with respect, you've been thinking about this all wrong. You're trying to dominate it, contain it, control it. But some creatures don't respond to force. They respond to trust. Trust? Vexhall's translator struggled with the concept. This organism has demonstrated nothing but hostility toward all sentient life. It exists in a state of permanent territorial aggression. Maybe it's scared, Sarah suggested, approaching the viewport. Inside the cell, the Void Stalker's massive head turned toward them, 6 crimson eyes blazing with alien intelligence. Think about it. It's the last of its kind trapped in a box, surrounded by beings it can't understand. Wouldn't you be angry too? The creature pressed against the glass, and for a moment, the reinforced material actually warped under some invisible force. Both aliens instinctively stepped back, but Sarah moved closer. "Hello, beautiful," she whispered, placing her palm against the glass. "I know you're hurting." The Void Stalker's massive head tilted, and something impossible happened. The gravitational distortions around it lessened slightly. "Impossible," Vexhall breathed. "No life form has ever calmed its spatial manipulations." Sarah reached into her bag and pulled out what looked like ordinary earth jerky. She held it up to the glass. "I brought you something." Director Cothlam activated the emergency protocols. "Dr. Chen, I cannot allow you to enter that cell." The risk is mine to take," Sarah interrupted. "I've studied the footage of every interaction. This creature isn't randomly violent. It only attacks when it feels threatened. Every handler who died came in with weapons, sedatives, or control devices. I'm going in with snacks and an open mind." Before anyone could stop her, Sarah had activated her security override, a privilege granted to all human researchers after their species' remarkable success with previously impossible first contact scenarios. The containment field dropped. Sarah stepped into the cell and immediately the temperature dropped by 20 degrees. The Void Stalker reared up to its full height, reality bending around it like heat waves. Its roar shook the entire facility, and several monitoring devices exploded from the sonic assault. But Sarah just sat down cross-legged on the floor and opened her bag. "I get it. You're impressive," she said conversationally, pulling out various Earth foods. "But you know what? I bet you haven't had decent food in centuries. Everything they've been giving you is synthetic protein cubes. Boring." She tossed a piece of jerky toward the creature. It landed near its massive claws. The Void Stalker stared at her for a long moment, then cautiously sniffed the offering. Its forked tongue, longer than Sarah's entire body, flicked out to taste the jerky. The change was immediate. The gravitational anomalies ceased entirely, and the creature's obsidian scales seemed to absorb less light, revealing intricate patterns beneath. "Better, right?" Sarah pulled out more snacks, trail mix, dried fruit, even some chocolate chip cookies. "These are from my home planet. We humans have this weird thing where we make food taste good just because we can." Over the next hour, watched by increasingly stunned alien observers, Sarah Chen did what 17 trained xeno-handlers had died attempting. She fed the Void Stalker snacks and talked to it like it was a lonely neighbor's cat. The creature, this supposedly untamable nightmare of the void, gradually relaxed. It settled onto the floor, bringing its massive head closer to Sarah's level. When she offered it a cookie, it took it with surprising gentleness, careful not to harm her with its planet-cracking claws. And then, impossibly, it began to purr. The sound was like distant thunder, like the universe itself humming in contentment. The purr resonated through dimensions, and for the first time in its centuries of captivity, the Void Stalker seemed at peace. "How?" Vexahal asked through the comm system, his voice filled with awe. Sarah scratched behind one of the creature's horn-like protrusions, earning an even deeper purr. "Same way you befriend any scared animal. You show up consistently, you respect their space, you bring good snacks, and you don't try to change them. You just accept them for what they are." The Void Stalker, this ancient engine of destruction, this nightmare of the cosmos, closed all 6 of its eyes and leaned into Sarah's touch like a content cat. Later, Ambassador Vexhal would file a report that would change galactic policy forever. Recommend immediate integration of human pet management protocols into all first contact and containment procedures. Somehow these beings have weaponized kindness itself. But in that moment, all he could do was watch in wonder as a small human woman and in cosmic horror shared chocolate chip cookies and proved that sometimes the greatest strength isn't in forcing submission, it's in offering friendship.